So the digital tool that I'm going to be demonstrating today is Quill. Now Quill is a website where students can practice grammar, they can practice sentence combinations, and all kinds of different writing practices. I really like to use Quill because it targets each student's individual needs. So some of the basic activities that are on Quill are sentence combining. They learn how to use conjunctions, they learn how to use commas and that sort of thing to combine sentences. And they don't just choose multiple choice, they have to write the sentence. And if they write it incorrectly, there will be little tips on how to write it better. Another thing that Quill has is lessons. So teachers can lead a full class lesson for students. And I like using these after I've done a diagnostic test. So you can have your students do the diagnostic test on Quill, and then it will tell you 95% of your students are weak in this area. You might want to start with this lesson. So it's a really good way to use the data for targeted intervention lessons instead of just following a prescribed curriculum step by step on things the kids might already know. You can find what their holes are and really focus your grammar instruction on those particular elements. So like I said, there's a diagnostic test and it gives you the levels of your students. And when they take the diagnostic, there's two sorts of reports that they'll get on Quill. There's one where it will suggest to you things that you might want to do for the whole class that most people are weak in, and then it will give you suggestions for individual practice for individual students that each student may be ready for on their own. And you can assign individual practice lessons as well. Another tool that Quill has is a proofreader section where you can assign passages, and then the students can practice their proofreading skills. This is a good way to teach them, things like grammar, punctuation, commonly confused words, homophones, and those sorts of things. And again, it's very personalized, so if they miss an editing error, then they'll get practice and instruction on that particular error. There's also basic grammar skills here where they, choose the correct word, but again, they have to write the whole sentence. They don't just choose a multiple choice. So it's also kind of a practice in typing in a way. They can practice typing the sentence as it should be read. It can integrate with Google Classroom or Clever, and you can assign passages, you can assign work based on what their diagnostic testing shows. There's also, mid-unit diagnostic testing, so you can see how they're growing, what standards they're mastering. It is aligned with Common Core, so if you're working on a specific standard, you can assign lessons based on those standards. It's very easy to differentiate, and it gives immediate feedback. So it gives students feedback as they are working on each question. It tells them, let's say they got the period correct but they missed a comma. It will say, make sure you add a comma in between subordinating conjunctions or whatever it may be. It gives them very specific feedback while they're working so that they can learn from their mistakes as they go. It's not just one grade at the end of the lesson. And I've used it in my classroom. I've really enjoyed it because it works with students at the huge varying levels that I have, and it gives everybody practice at their level. It's not too easy and it's not too hard. And it teaches them as they go along. They can read the lessons and practice the things that they need to know. So that is Quill. I'm looking forward to, I started using it towards the end of this school year. I'm looking forward to using it even more as grammar supplement in my classroom this upcoming year. This is, you wouldn't want to use it necessarily for the littlest kids. I would say, starting in about probably 3rd or 4th grade. A higher achieving 3rd grader might be ready for it. 4th grade can probably do the simplest activities on here. but I think it really shines in the upper middle school and possibly even early high school if your students have a lot of holes in the basic grammar areas. 9th and 10th grade might also benefit from this tool. So hopefully you enjoyed looking at this little preview, and it is free to use. You can pay for a more premium edition, but I've used the free and I haven't run out of things to do, and it's been very user friendly both for me and the students.